All right, it is Monday. It's the first day of a new week and I love Mondays. Mondays are my rest days. So I always take a rest day during the week. I think it's so important for recovery and it's really helped me prevent injuries in the past few years. I usually do a lot of recovery stuff on Mondays, so I'll take you along on my recovery routine. I'll do some food prep today for the rest of the week. Also really excited for this week because it is a big week of training. Even though today is a rest day, the rest of the week I'll be training really hard. So I'm excited to get in the miles and get in the training this week. But for today, let's recover. I'm food prepping a big batch of pasta salad for lunch this week. I cut up sweet onion, bell pepper, and cucumber, boiled pasta, got some shredded chicken, and mixed them all together with Italian dressing. It was a super simple recipe, and now we have lunch for the week. I don't run or cross-train on rest days, but sometimes I get out for a walk. Meryl recently sent me the Antora 4 Bliss, so I went for a walk to break them in, and let me tell you, they definitely live up to their name. After that, I went to the store and grabbed one of my favorite drinks and some Epsom salt. I love taking warm Epsom salt baths on rest days. They're a great way to relax and loosen up my muscles. Once my muscles were warmed up, it was time to get rid of some lingering tight spots in my legs. I bought this scraper for probably $10 off Amazon, and I use it on any tight spots in my legs. I put some lotion on the spot and scrape like this for about 2 minutes. This improves circulation, can break up scar tissue, and increases blood flow, which promotes healing. Recovery achieved today, and I'm ready for a workout day tomorrow.
Good morning, good job, Rashida. Hi, Ash.
I'm just finishing my warm-up. Today is a workout day, so I'm going to be doing 8 miles of in and out 400. So 400 fast, 400 easy. I'm going to run these around 10K efforts. The point of this workout is to build running efficiency, so I really want to feel smooth and relaxed this whole workout. I'm running up at 7,000 feet and in a neighborhood that has some rolling hills in it on the streets, so it's not as fast as I would be able to run on a track workout at sea level, but the effort is what matters for today. All right, let's do it. The first speed workout in a training cycle always feels like a shock to the system, but after a few sessions, I know the paces will start to feel more natural. Even during this one, I felt a little off in the beginning, but by the end, I was running a lot more smooth and relaxed.
Dang, that looks good.
I ended the day with an uphill treadmill double and lift. I like uphill doubles because they're a little less impact on my body so I can recover quickly, and I'm training for trails, so I need to be efficient at running uphill. I lift twice a week, and in this build, I'm just adding strength in, so I went lighter today on the weights, but it was good to start adding them in again. I always do one heavier leg lift, usually half squats or hex bar deadlifts. Then I do a mix of legs, core, and upper body too. It may sound weird to do upper body lifts as a distance runner, but I think it helps me keep good running posture and it makes me feel like a well-rounded athlete.
The step count today is quite high.
I've recently been adding ketones in on my workout days. They're kind of expensive and they taste terrible, but I feel a difference the next day.
My stuff tastes so bad.
I'm making some nachos, well, kind of nachos. We're gonna cook up this beef and then I'm going to saute some veggies and top the chips with that. I really like this meal because I can eat a lot of chips and that's kind of what I need on a big day of training like this. I think a lot of people think, oh, I need to eat so healthy if I'm a runner, but really if you're running as many miles as I'm running, you really just need the calories so that you can recover from all the training. And if you don't get in all the calories, then your performance will really start suffering. So sometimes meals like this with chips or something simple like that are just really easy ways to get in a lot of calories and they taste really good too. I also made a chocolate protein smoothie after dinner. It's so good and good for recovery too.
I slept so hard last night. I was tired.
We are in Flagstaff today for a trail run, and usually in the winters I go to Sedona for trail running, but today I'm sticking around Flagstaff. I'm actually trading in my Jeep today and getting a different car because this car has given me a lot of car problems and I've had it for a while, so it's been a great car, but this year it has been quite stressful. It has broken down like 4 or 5 times, and one of the times was right before Nationals, the Classic Mountain Championships, and it broke down the day before car on the highway. So that was really stressful for that race, just trying to figure out what I was gonna do with a broken car. But anyway, very, very excited to trade in this car and get a different one, but that's why I'm in Flagstaff today. I'm at Fort Tuthill because it's still kind of wintry and a lot of the trails still have a bunch of snow on them. At this point of the year, if I want to run in trails in Flagstaff, I need to get on trails that are a little lower and not super mountainy. This is just an easy recovery day today, so yeah, let's hit the trails. On these recovery days, I just try to run really easy. I try to run at a pace where I can hold a full-on conversation the entire time that I'm running. So it ends up being pretty slow, especially if I'm sore or tired from a workout the day before. But that's okay. It's meant to be a day that I can just shake out the legs a little bit. Well, car, you've had a good run. And then you keep breaking down, so you gotta go. Before I traded in my car, I went to Sprouts because it was Sushi Wednesday. The sushi wasn't super filling though, so I grabbed some donuts too. And you don't have to tell me, I know this is a super weird lunch, but it's really hard for me to find donuts that fit my food allergies, so I take them when I can. I traded in my car and then drove the new one straight to the gym for another uphill treadmill double. Then Drew and I made a dinner we have so often we've nicknamed it the Classic. It's salmon, sauteed broccoli and cauliflower, and rice or a sweet potato. We eat this meal so often that the guys in the fish department at Safeway know us by name. Thursday was another recovery day, and I was feeling really tired. Sometimes a workout hits me 2 days later, so it was nice to have company on a run that didn't feel great. I ran easy and did some light 20-second pickups near the end of the run to get my legs turning over. I wrote some training for athletes I coach in the afternoon, then headed out for a double.
I hardcore procrastinated on this double, but we're about to.
I felt so much better running in the evening today than in the morning, which was a nice surprise. I love doing doubles at sunset like this.
Got another workout day today. That came up very quickly.
I'm going to warm up in my Amport Bliss. These are really good for recovery days and for non-tailed trails.
I started warming up and it's looking like it might storm, so we're gonna hit the gym for this one.
I did 5 bi-mile repeats with 90-second rest at threshold effort today. I don't know if anyone else experiences this at gyms, but our gym is super hot and I always finish workouts here with a puddle of sweat on the floor, but I guess it's good heat training. Whew, that one felt a little bit mentally harder. I had to really work to stay engaged, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens on really intense weeks of training because your body is just working so hard and trying to recover that. Sometimes mentally it's just a little bit harder later on into the week. So yeah, that happened a little today and I just really had to fight through and stay positive through the whole workout. So something I do to stay engaged on those days is beforehand I store up positive phrases in my mind so that I can pull them out when I need to in a workout that's a little bit mentally tough. Today I was just repeating to myself that you're okay, and then it also helped me to break up the workout a little bit. So each rep at 0.25 miles in, I said to myself, you can do that 3 more times. At the 0.5 mile mark, I said, you can do that another time, and I just kept doing that through the workout to kind of divide up each mile and keep myself engaged the whole workout. The one last thing that helps me on really hard days like this is just to be grateful that I'm able to run and just try to enjoy the workout and enjoy running fast, because it is really fun to run fast. So on days that are a little bit harder, it's great to remember that I'm so thankful that I'm able to run. I grabbed some lunch and had a few hours to rest before hitting the gym for my second session, an uphill treadmill threshold and lift. I felt way better than I did in the morning, and this was one of my fastest uphill threshold runs ever. I don't really know how accurate the treadmill grade is, but I always use the same treadmill, so even if the grade is off, I can compare workouts on the same treadmill. Then I hit the weights. When it comes to squats, I prefer doing half squats over full squats. The risk of injury is lower, and I can lift heavier with half squats, which helps me build more power and strength. Just like the last lift, I did a mix of legs, upper body, and core. I ended the day hanging out with friends over a pasta dinner, which was the perfect way to refuel. Saturday was another recovery day, so Drew and I drove up to the fire road that leads up Bill Williams Mountain, the highest peak in Williams, Arizona. The single tracks here still have some ice and snow on them, but we can get in some climbs if we run on the fire roads. Lunch was one of my favorite meals of the week. I cooked up some gnocchi with chicken, spinach, and pesto, and it was amazing. I got in a 5-mile double in the evening to finish off the recovery day. It is finally my favorite day of the week, which is long run. I drove down to Sedona so that I could get in some trails and some vert today. I'm at Mount Wilson and I'm excited for some really cool views and some climbs too. Nutrition is so important on long run. I try to get in about 80 grams of carbs per hour during long runs, and Morton is my favorite way to fuel. Merrell Skyfire 2s are my go-to shoes for anything steep and techy, and this long run was definitely steep and techy. The first part of the long run, I ran up and down Wilson Mountain. This trail is super rocky the whole time, so I always have to stay focused and watch my step. It's a really fun climb with beautiful views at the top.
Woo, that is gorgeous.
I headed down the mountain again, successfully avoided big wipeouts this time, and ran an out and back along Jim Thompson Trail at the bottom to get to 16 miles and over 4,000 feet of gain for the day. Effort-wise, I kept this long run pretty relaxed. I ran steady state effort on the climb, but this long run was all about getting time on feet and building endurance.
We did it, long run done, and it is so important to refuel as soon as you can after you run. So since I have a long drive back up to Williams, I'm going to go to my favorite place in Sedona, the local juicery, and grab a snack for the way back.
I got the mint chip smoothie, which makes a perfect post-run snack because it has a good blend of protein and carbs.
In summary, this week I ran 80 miles, ran for 11 hours and 35 minutes, and I got in 12,841 feet of elevation gain. I had 2 big workout days, 2 lifts, and I also did a long run. So those were my big workout days for the week. Since I've been running on the trails, it's been really helpful for me to equate my elevation gain into mileage because it feels a lot different running 80 miles flat on the road than it does running 80 miles up in the mountains. And I'll train differently next week because of it. So I want to make sure that I have an accurate read on how my body is actually feeling. This is a calculation that I've done just to figure out what the mileage actually feels like for my legs. What I do is I take the total elevation gain for the week and divide it by 650 feet because I found that 650 equates to about a mile for me. With that calculation, my training equates to about 99 miles for the week. Normally, I'm pretty good at listening to my body and knowing when it's tired or not, but this calculation also helps. It's kind of a silly calculation, but I like it because it helps me determine how fatigued my legs actually are. I don't want to go into next week thinking that I just ran an 80-mile week when I really just ran a 100-mile week. It could also help if you've run on the roads previously just to look at the time that you've spent training for the week and equate that to what you would run on the road. I know if I ran for 11 hours and 35 minutes on the road one week, that probably would equate to about a 90 or 100-mile week. That was my training for the week. It was a big week of training and a lot of fun too. And I'm really excited to keep training toward my first trail race of the season, which is over in China at the end of April. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed so far. It really means a lot. So please subscribe and comment what you want to see next. Have a great week of training and I'll see you next time.